What's up, YouTube? Kyle here from Let's Talk Wax, and today we're going to start part one of a three-part series called Prospecting 101. We're going to break this up into three segments. The first part we're going to talk about today is actually prospecting and finding out who you're going to invest in. Part two is going to be about buying those cards, how to buy them, where to buy them, when is the best time to buy them. And three is going to be selling. How do I make money selling these cards? This series is going to be geared towards just elementary investors, elementary prospectors, guys who are getting into it for the first time, just trying to get their feet wet, make a couple bucks selling cards, just like I did, about 10 years ago when I first started getting into 2010 Bowman Chrome. With Harper and Strasburg released it, was a hyped up product, and I jumped into it and I never looked back. So hopefully we can get some knowledge spread to you new prospectors, and the thing we need to think about the most is this is not an easy thing. It's not a guarantee. It's called an investment for a lot of people, but it's more of a gamble. It's an educated guess for me, and that's kind of how I look at it. But it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work. You can't just jump on an internet site and say, hey, who do I need to buy? Who are the top 5 guys to buy right now? You're going to get a buku amount of opinions. Some of them are going to be uninformed. Some of them are just going to be saying, go buy Jason Dominguez. He hasn't played a single minor league game yet, but we're going to spend, hundreds of dollars on an auto. And that's not where you want to be. If you're going to buy Jason Dominguez, at least buy him knowing that he has not played a single minor league game yet. So we're going to go over ways to do your homework, be informed, and make good decisions on the guys that you want to go after before we start to buy, before we start to sell. Okay, this is always the first step, and it takes the most time. It's the most difficult, but for me, it's the most fun. The first thing I do every time Bowman drops a product, which they drop 3 a year, Bowman Chrome, and Bowman Draft, is I check out the checklist. I find out who is on that product's checklist. And there's not a better place for me than Cardboard Connection. They do a fantastic job of organizing a checklist that basically tells you everything that you're going to find in a box of cards. Remember that prospecting and investing does not mean breaking wax and hoping you hit the people that you are looking for. We are talking about, buying singles. If you don't want to quite spend money on autos yet, go for parallels or go for just Bowman Chrome first. That's a great place to start. You can't lose too much money doing that. And once you get more comfortable, work your way up to the autographs. But I deal with autographs. That's my niche, Bowman Chrome autographs. So I'm going to click on 2020 Bowman baseball cards. Bowman Draft just came out a couple of days ago. So we'll take a look at that because it's the newest product out by Bowman right now. And you can see, here's Bowman. That was their first release. Every year it's Bowman. Bowman Chrome is their second. And down here, we got Bowman Draft, which is their third release post-draft every year. So we'll click on 2020 Bowman Draft. And there's going to be a little tab here that says Set Checklist. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we want to see. We want to click on that. And you can see it's giving us a bunch of names. We want to scroll down and find the auto checklist. Bowman Chrome autograph checklist, okay? And here we have 2020 Bowman Chrome baseball autograph checklist. That's what we're looking for, okay? And it's going to list every person that has a Bowman Chrome autograph in that release. And I think there's like 170 some. There was a ton of autographs in this Bowman Draft product this year. It was a big checklist. I think it was the biggest checklist I've ever done. It took me about 3 days to go through all these guys. And it was just a massive checklist. But there's one thing that saves me a lot of time is I do not prospect. I do not invest in pitchers. Some people may call me crazy. I'm a bats guy. I just think that pitchers are too liable to get injured. There's a lot of risk involved in dealing with pitchers, so I just stay away from them. It saves me a lot of time. There's enough bats out there that I like that I don't even want to throw pitchers into the mix just because there's so many bats that I like. And, all the way back to about 2015, I'm still sitting on Bowman Chrome autographs, from KB Hayes. And I've just sold some Kyle Tuckers this past year. So I've got a lot to worry about, and to throw pitchers into the mix is just a lot for me. So the first step you want to do to stay organized, is get on here and just copy this whole checklist. Okay, I usually copy it, paste it in a Word document, and I print it out. Then I have an organized list of every guy that I can prospect. That's a potential prospect for me to buy and sell down the road. So I copy and paste it, and it's on a piece of paper in front of me. So what do I do next? Well, I open up a Google Sheet, okay? And you can see my 2020 Bowman Draft section here. And what I do is I go right down that list and I type in the first guy on that list, and I do my research, okay? And I just keep going through that list and crossing names off until I get to the end of it. And then I have my write-up, for the whole product, which you see right here in front of you, okay? Like I said, no pictures. But where do we get this information from? Where do I get my information from? Great question, and there's a lot of answers for that. There's two really, really, really good websites that I love, they're just my staples, when I'm trying to get some information on guys. The first one is Baseball Reference, and the second one is FanGraphs, and they're both great for their own reasons. I like Baseball Reference because it's really organized, and it's a great place to see organized stats. It's a great place to see what age these guys are playing different levels at, which is really important. And it's just a super easy way to see the statistical side of each player. And I'm just going to type in a random guy that I like. It's Geraldo Perdomo. We'll type his name in there. And of course, he pops up. And we scroll down. And you can see, it lists where they're at on certain prospect rankings, 72 from Baseball America, 82 from MLB, and Baseball Prospectus 91. That's some helpful information there. What we're looking for on this website is this little section right here that I absolutely love, where they give the age and they say, they show what levels that person's played at per year, because guys skip levels, throughout the year. And, with Perdomo, one of the stats that jumps out at me right away is the fact that this guy was 19 and he was playing in the Arizona Fall League as a 19-year-old, hitting for average, not striking out a ton, taking his walks, hitting with a little bit of pop, at 834 OPS, but the power numbers are down right now. But for a 19-year-old playing in the Arizona Fall League, that's not to be alarming. And that's why, doing your homework is so important, because you could just listen to a guy say, Perdomo only hit one home run last year, and then, or, Perdomo played 90 games in single A ball and he only hit 2 home runs. Well, you got to understand that the dude's 19 and he's going against guys that are on average, 3 years older than him. So he hasn't physically matured. He's facing competition that's way above his age level. And those things may develop. But what he is showing us right now is that he's going to hit for contact. He's going to not strike out. He's going to take walks. And what I like best about him is he's going to play a premium position, and he's going to stick at that premium position. He is not going to play second base. He will be a shortstop. And that's where a lot of the information that I get from other sites that say the same thing. And that's, all part of doing the research. And I'll do some other videos that really get in depth about what to look for these guys. Perdomo is just an example of a guy I like. But this is more geared towards showing you what Baseball Reference can be used for. Okay, it's just an organized statistical analysis. But the great part about it is how it shows the age, for the levels they played at. And Perdomo's been playing under his level for, the whole year, and he's been doing a pretty dang good job of it. So FanGraphs is next, and this is a different type of information you're going to get from FanGraphs. These are going to be, reports that are written by Eric, and his website is unbelievable. What they do with with their write-ups and how much information is on this website. So we'll type in Perdomo again here, and we'll find Geraldo Perdomo. And we're going to look at why FanGraphs is so nice. First of all, why I love FanGraphs is it's a different look. It's a different type of knowledge. You get the 20/80 grading scale right away. Okay, you see the big tools here, not his big tools that haven't really gotten that big yet, but you see where they grade on each of their tools. The hit tool, the game power, the raw power, the speed, the field throw, and the future value. Okay, future value is basically what they project them to be at their best. And Perdomo's a 50, which is above average. It's pretty good. They give you an ETA, when they think they'll break into the big leagues, their rank, their team rank, But what's really cool is the fact that they write up these guys. They write up like the top 30 of every organization, and it's really good info. You can click on the top 100 prospects and just hit this little expand button for each of your guys. And I'm going to click on top 47 Arizona Diamondbacks prospects, and he's obviously going to be, I think he's the 4th, like it said, yeah. Here he is. He's number 4, okay? And the cool thing is we can scroll down below here and just keep scrolling down, and you're going to find the write-up of each of these prospects, and we'll find Perdomo here. They give a very in-depth analysis of the information they've compiled on him, and it's very helpful, especially when you're trying to learn new guys. Especially when there's no minor league season like this year. It's really helpful to have eyes where you can't see. So FanGraphs is great for these reasons. They offer, write-ups on top, like the top 30, even like the 30th ranked prospect in an organization, which you're going to get a lot in Bowman products. They're going to have a write-up. They're going to have something about the guy, So it's great in that aspect. There's so much value on this website, for prospectors who are trying to find guys. It's really unbelievable, and it's a great website. MLB.com does top 100 prospects, and they have good write-ups, but it's hard to find a whole lot of information outside the top 100 prospects for MLB.com. So we'll go there, MLB top 100. And sometimes, if you're beginning and you don't have time to sort through, 3 years of Bowman product, you don't have time to go through 9 different product releases, the 100 may be a good place for you to start, and find your guys from there. And they got, Franco at the top, obviously, number 1 prospect. But there's 100 guys here to choose from. Some of them may not have a Bowman Chrome Auto yet. Torkelson didn't have a Bowman Chrome Auto until draft came out. I think Kjerstad was the same way, and Zach Veen. They're pretty highly touted prospects. So sometimes these guys won't have an auto until a future release. But it's one place to start. I just don't like jumping into a top 100 because it doesn't allow me to stay organized, and it's easy to miss some sleepers, that could make you some money down the road. But it is a resource. Baseball America is a good resource. They have some paid articles and some paid material, but they put a lot of good information out on prospects. Another thing I like is just going to Google, especially in the COVID era this year. It was hard to find information on guys. No minor league season. They had the 60-man player pools who were closed to the press, so we really had no idea what was going on with these guys. They let some people, write some articles and do some interviews about, following the 60-man player pool. They would interview, assistant GMs, and they're doing the same thing with Instruct. So what I would do is I would go to, Google. I'd type in a player's name, and I wouldn't go to all. I'd just go to news. And this is where I found a lot of good info on guys, interviews, and they would rank, organizations' top 5 prospects coming out of the 60-man player pool. But there was some kind of sneak attack information that just by clicking on news as opposed to all, that you could find on these guys. Like I said, especially during this COVID era where there's no minor leagues going on right now, it's really hard to know what these guys are doing. So that's basically the gist of researching your guys right there. You know, it's a lot. It takes a lot of effort to compile a list, and it takes a lot of effort to research each of these guys. But it's the most fun part for me of being a prospect. Whether I make money or not, I love doing the homework. I love finding guys. It's what makes the hobby fun for me. And when it's all said and done, we have this nice organized list you can see here of every bat. Like I said, I don't do pitchers. Pitchers are out. They're too prone to injury. There's not a huge market for pitchers unless they're punching out like 20 dudes every start. Shane Bieber was an example, but he's kind of an anomaly. There's not a lot of resale in pitchers. And for me, it's just the fact that Tommy John exists, labrums tear, and then things go haywire with pitchers, so it's really hard to invest a lot of money in them. But anyway, I have all the hitters, all the bats. They're all, lined up right here in order. You can see I put high school NCAA, I put what I got out of the information I did for each guy, their slot, and I'm organized. All right. So now, if we have a minor league season in 2021, I can go back, pull this up every couple of weeks, and I can check on these guys. I can see, if power's starting to develop for some of them. Because there's a lot of these guys that, whether they're going to be good or not depends on if they develop some power. And, check on your prospects, stay organized, and you can find out if those things are panning out or not. If a guy's striking out too much, you're going to know. I got Austin Hendrick here, and one of the things I wrote about him was he's got plus bat speed, but he has a lot of swing and miss, a lot of swing movement. So if he goes out there, and strikes out 90 times, in the first couple of months of pro ball, he may not be a buy. Now, if he can take some walks and he can hit for some power, that might be a reason for me to start buying this guy. But you have to stay on top. You have to stay organized. You have to do your homework. You cannot ask Facebook groups 5 dudes to buy. It's not going to work. You're going to spend a ton of money. You're going to take a huge gamble because it's an uninformed decision. Just trust me, do your homework. And I'm going to do a lot more videos on getting in depth with evaluating guys. This is just a beginner episode of how to do research, where to find information, how to compile it, and how to have just enough information to make an educated guess on who you think will pan out. Next episode, we will talk about buying. That's a whole new enema in itself. Where to buy, when to buy, what am I buying, knowing my product. This episode was geared towards just some research. So if you like our video, or if you like my videos, just subscribe. I'm going to be putting a lot more videos out similar to this. I run a Facebook group. It's called Bowman and Topps Baseball Card Connector. We're a small group right now, but I put a lot of information out in that group, write-ups and guys that I think are going to be good investments and guys that I like and reasons why, and we've got about 40 members right now. We're trying to grow, and it's a place to sell and buy, and talk about prospects. I'm also on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. I'm learning how to use those two things because I've been a Facebook guy my whole life, and Instagram and Twitter are still kind of new to me, just like YouTube. But it was hard for me to get some information out that I wanted to get out. So like and subscribe. If you want more videos, and check me out in the comments below. I have my Facebook group linked, and my Instagram and Twitter, hopefully if I can figure out how to do it. But thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And the next video, we'll talk about where to buy these guys. All right? Have a great day.